Let's move on to Jagmeet Singh, who is absolutely nothing and nobody except Justin Trudeau's biggest enabler. Our country is a mess in no small part because of him, and he is the leader of the fringe third party in this country, probably going to lose his own seat. And yet, he thinks that he is going to decide who gets to come to Canada as part of the G7 meetings that are hosted here in Alberta in beautiful Kananaskis. Now, God willing, we will have a new prime minister, and it won't be Mark Carney by then, because I really don't want Mark Carney at the G7 in Alberta of all places. He'll be wearing his I'm from Alberta cloak that he likes to wear, but really you're from the UK at this point. But Jagmeet Singh wants to ban our largest trading partner, our biggest security ally, from the G7 meetings. What could possibly go wrong? You want 50% tariffs? Keep talking, idiot. Anyway, let's watch this.
I also believe we need to ban Donald Trump from attending the G7 summit.
So embarrassing.
Donald Trump should not be welcome here. Why would we invite someone who has threatened our very democracy, our very sovereignty? Why would we invite someone who has threatened our economic well-being? Why would we invite someone who threatens our allies and threatens the world's stability? Why would we allow a convicted criminal into our country? Why would we invite someone who has such disdain for multilateral organizations? Instead, what we should do is use the G7 summit as an opportunity to work with our allies on a plan to resist Donald Trump and his dangerous threats to the world. I also believe we need to ban Donald Trump from attending the G7.
Okay, that's good. So, we got to ban Donald Trump because he's a convicted felon on a political conviction. But he's perfectly fine with the radical Hamas lunatics on the streets of Canadian cities every single weekend, threatening Jews, celebrating an outlawed terrorist organization. And he seems perfectly fine with the hundreds of thousands of unvetted illegal migrants roaming our country, but he's worried about Donald Trump. We don't get to do anything. We're not in charge of anything, Jagmeet Singh. Not anymore.
I also find it's very ironic and hypocritical that he thinks Trump is threatening our democracy. Meanwhile, him and the Liberals have had this unofficial coalition literally stealing our democratic process in Parliament for the last, 2 years almost, or over 2 years now, that they have unofficially created this, or officially created this pact between the Liberals and the NDP. So they rule as a majority, these two fringe minority parties rule in our Parliament when it's actually functioning and not prorogued as a majority government, and thereby undermining and compromising our democratic due process by not giving a voice to the actual opposition, which would be a lot stronger if it had better leadership for the first few years during the pandemic. But also, if they didn't have this coalition, the Conservatives would be able to push back and push things through more appropriately and easier if there wasn't this coalition between the Liberals and the NDP. So, and then threatening the economic well-being. Well, we see how our economy is in Canada and the fact that Canadians have to choose between heating their homes and putting food on the table. And I would say that that's our own government's doing, thanks to Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland, who told Canadians to cancel their Disney Plus accounts and then froze their bank accounts when they disagreed with the way her government was conducting itself. But somehow this is all Trump's fault. Of course, Jagmeet Singh thinks this way.
Can I ask Olivia or whoever's behind the board in Toronto today to just do a Google image search of Kananaskis Canmore? Here's the reason I think they don't want Trump to go to Kananaskis and Canmore is because he already likes Alberta. We're his beautiful, cherished 51st state. If he sees the unrivaled natural beauty of Kananaskis Canmore, that man is not going to stop until he has us. That's what I think. They don't want Trump showing up. He's going to look at Kananaskis and say, these people like me. I like them. They've got lots of natural resources. They are like Aspen without the politics and Hollywood. Why wouldn't I love them? Like, this is just like a random picture, but the whole place is like this. It is really a truly unrivaled natural beauty. Trump's going to see it and say, yeah, we need those people.
Yeah, and I think he does see the wealth of our resources that have been completely compromised and underutilized by our government. Like, Canadians, yeah, we should not be struggling economically.
They tell me it's an oil and gas wasteland here in Alberta, but we just keep tripping over places like that all over the place. Let's go to Jagmeet Singh.
Before we move on,
sorry,
Sheila,
go ahead.
From that one clip, I don't know if our viewers could see it because of the way that we were on the screen there while the clip was playing, but you can see some of the people in the audience when he says that, their faces. That's what I noticed and noted right away, was they're just like, wait, what is this guy even saying?
It gets better.
And you can tell. Yeah, it does get better. Here, let's look at this next one.
Yeah, this next one is great.
Zelensky isn't the one who is threatening to take over and invade other countries. That's Donald Trump. He gave superpowers to billionaires and cozied up to tech bros who spread disinformation. He got his surrogates, J.D. Vance and Elon Musk, to endorse the AfD in Germany, a party widely seen as supporting or embracing Nazi elements in its midst. A party, I'll remind you, that Pierre Poilievre's caucus members met with. Trump has then repeatedly threatened to invade other countries. I ask you a question. What do you call someone who threatens his allies, including with the use of military force? Someone who spreads disinformation and proclaims that he is above the laws and fires anyone who won't do as he says, even those in law enforcement and in the military. You call that person a fascist.
Sounds like he's describing Trudeau. Like, that phone call is definitely coming from inside the house when he's like, fires anybody who won't agree with him, even if those people are in law enforcement. He fired our AG, which is like the top in law enforcement, because she didn't agree with cutting a sweetheart deal for a corrupt Quebec-based liberal-linked company named SNC Lavalin, which now has to change its name. And it's funny how he talks.
Its name.
Yeah,
and
which now has
now
to
they're
change
being
its name.
awarded the speed rail, the $1 billion,
the high-speed rail, the monorail.
Yes.